Hello everyone and welcome to part 5 of my everything that I've colored up to 2021 update. This should be the last part of the whole series, I guess. Would you call it a series? I don't know, but this is the last video with everything updated, and it will hopefully be the shortest. We'll see. They've been averaging out to be about 45 minutes. So I wanted to, for those who are just coming across this, I'm showing all of my coloring pages that I've done since I started coloring up until the end of 2021. And I did say that I would share how many pages I've colored. So if I counted right, last year, 2021, I colored 59 pages, which isn't bad. It's not as much as I thought. I feel like I didn't color very much last year, but that puts my total number of completed coloring pages to about 237. I'm saying about because I might have missed a page or two, and also I'm not counting anything that's a whip, so I have colored more pages, but I haven't completed some. And I counted double page spreads as one page, and I think I did some double page spreads last year. So anyways, so I thought that would be kind of some fun numbers to share. Anyways, so to start off, I will show, these are, okay, I'm going to show all of my kind of like more miscellaneous books that aren't square, that aren't hardback, or the 8.5 by 11. So this first one is The Ink House by Rory Dobner. This isn't technically a coloring book, but it's got all black and white pen and ink drawings, and Coloring Heaven actually does have an Ink House version with a lot of the illustrations from this book, if you don't particularly want this copy, or if you want a second copy that doesn't have the story to it. So I have done this page, which I think I did when I first got the book, which was a couple years ago, and this is Inktense. This is also when I first got Inktense, so I was just like trying to practice how to do gold, silver, and copper, and I think the silver turned out really cool. I really love doing a silver with the Inktense. I believe the color that I used is what is it called? Let me check. The color is like my most used gray Inktense color is Payne's Gray, because it's more of a bluish gray. I just use that color all the time. So my goal for this book is to do all of the pages with Inktense, because it's like called the Ink House. So I thought that would be kind of a fun take on the book. So it's not necessarily like a color scheme theme, but it is going to strictly be Inktense and maybe some pencils for some smaller details. I did this staircase page, and let me tell you, it was a little tricky to figure out what was wall and what was stair, but it was really fun, and I think it turned out pretty cool. So that's also Inktense. So there's that. Next up, I think I just have a whip. This is Snow White by Fabiana Attanasio. I think I just have a whip in here somewhere. These illustrations are so cute. I really need to do a completed picture. So this is the picture that I started. I did it with some budget pencils, and they were just really hard on my hands, so I like, you know what, I'll take a break from it. So I might go back in with different pencils and some water media, to get it finished because I think it will be cute when it's done. And there's not really that much to finish on it. I did the hardest part, which is the background. I don't know why it's so hard for me to do backgrounds. And then in The Adventures of Pinocchio, also by Fabiana Attanasio, I have one completed page in here, and this was done a while ago, I think a few years, and it's this one. I didn't do anything crazy with the background because I couldn't think of a color that would like look good but also not detract from what I had going on. And funny story, so this was a streaky marker I was coloring. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so streaky. But then I had this idea to like color just all in one direction so it looks like the grain of the wood. And then I added a little bit of pencil texture and shading. Anyways, this was really fun. I need to work in her books more. Next up is Disney Dreams Collection by Thomas Kinkade. I started this page last year. I'm hoping to finish it this year. It's nothing too crazy. It's just Inktense for the grass. And then I think I'll do Inktense for most of these other large spaces and then use pencils for all these smaller details and add some shading in. But I want to kind of do my own take on it. I don't want to try to copy this or else it'll take too long and like it would look really cool, but I know I would never ever finish it. So next up is Forest Girl by April. This is the first book of hers, and I've done a couple pictures. I did this one. I believe I used Albrecht watercolor pencils. I didn't really, I don't know, I feel like this paper didn't really take to the water brush very well. So I think for this book, except for the backgrounds, I'm probably going to just stick to using pencils. Let's see, and then this has been a forever whip. All I have left to do is these pictures in the frame, but this is one of my first Korean coloring books when I first started coloring and one of my first pages in here, and I remember being so proud of this couch. And I mean, still, I think it looks really good, but I just know if I colored it now, it would probably be really different, which is kind of cool to look at how, like, I still really like my colorings from years ago, but it's just kind of fun to see how much I've progressed over time. So those are the two that I did I didn't work in that one last year. So that's past years. And then Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I love this book, and I think the story in it is so cute, but I have not colored in this book very much at all. So I'm hoping to more this year. I did this page when I first got the book, and it was for Johanna Basford competition. In fact, I'm going to move that there. And this is all polychromos, and I put my heart and soul into it and spent forever on it, and I think it turned out so pretty. But now I have like this expectation of myself that I have to have every page just as like very I don't know how to say it, but I think I spent like 2 weeks on this or something, so it was very involved, and I think it looks amazing. But I'm also intimidated now because I feel like I have to have every single page at that level. And this side I did a while later when I first got watercolor pencils, and I didn't realize it wasn't a good idea just to color in and go in with a small brush and try to activate the pencil. As you can see, it was pretty streaky. I just actually recently went over it with a green watercolor wash, and it kind of put this cool texture from, I don't know if you can see it, it's really faint, but it's like kind of the mirror of the next page where the oils from the polychromos were a little bit. So I think that's kind of a cool effect that I got and I didn't anticipate. And I just need to color in this little filigree butterfly and I'll call it good. But yeah, that's Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Okay, next up is Find Color by Googeli. I love this book. It's amazing with watercolor. I've only done one picture. I did this in 2021. And I'm super happy with how it turned out. I love this background. And I love her skirt. And I just had so much fun being really loose with a very beautifully drawn image. I used a travel size set for watercolor pan. It's like a, you know, it's got maybe, I think 24 colors in it. That's what I used, and just a water brush, and I think it turned out so pretty. I love her hair too, because I put a little bit of blue in it, just to add a bit more dimension. So that's that page. Only one done in there. I'm hoping to do more in it this year, now that I'm more acquainted with how I like to color in there. This is a Hanbok Fairy Tales coloring book. It's a really pretty book. I love this book so much. I got it when I first started coloring. Let's see, I've only started one page in here. Where did it go? I just got stuck doing her hair. Oh, where is it? I know it's in here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's just this. She's got this beautiful red, yellow, and blue hanbok on, and I need to look up what colors to do her hairpins, because they do wear these pins traditionally, and I know they're like, there's black and gold and I think red, but yeah, I want to look up how to do that. And then really, I think now that I'm more confident with how to do, you know, a frame, because I was really intimidated by this frame, I kind of want to make it look like it's an ivory frame, so I'm hoping to finish this one this year. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. I finally colored a picture in Momo Girl. This is her Girls with Song, so it's her second book. And I did this page. I completed it last year. I gave this girl this cute baby pink, kind of an ombre hair. And I picked this one because I was really into knitting and crocheting last year, and thought it would be kind of fun to color a picture that has to do with one of my other hobbies. And she's wearing blue because I love the color blue, and I had rose gold more on the pink side a couple of years ago. Anyways, I had lots of fun. I kept the background really simple because I wanted her to be the focal point, and I think her skin, I really need to work better on skin, but I think it turned out pretty well. So that's Girls with Song. And then I don't think I completed any pages in this book last year. I could be wrong though. I have been wrong before. Okay, I only have worked on one picture in here, and it's this one. I think her hair is so beautiful, and I'm so afraid of messing up the rest of the picture. It is done with Prismacolors, and yeah, I think maybe I just need to move on and do a different picture so I can have, because I don't know if a lot of people know this. So for my coloring books, I try to only have one whip going on in that book at a time, just because I don't know why, I just don't want to have like, 5 whips in one book. And anyways, so part of me is like, I can't move on and do a different picture in this book until I finish this page. But I'm also like, I want this page to be perfect. So that's one thing that holds me back a lot of times, which I'm trying to overcome that. Like, yeah, we'll get there. This page I did, I think in 2020 is when I finished it, and I think it turned out really pretty and soft. I love the color scheme of the purple and the yellow and the green, and that was all done with Prismacolors. And I have done another picture. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, right here. I tried to do a bokeh background. I don't know if I did really very well or not. And I don't think it fits really this page very well, but I think it's still pretty. I loved working on his garment that he's wearing, and I decided to give him like gray hair because it makes him feel more like he's some sort of what's the word? I'm losing the word. There's a specific word for it. Anyways, like he's more of a supernatural character. That's the word. So I've only done those 2 pictures in there, but I'm hoping to do more in them this year. And these are also by the same artist, and I apologize, I'm blanking on their name right now. But if you go to AliExpress or Amazon and you type in Chinese coloring book, his books are most likely to come up. So these are kind of a pocket-sized, smaller-sized book. And I got these last year, so all the pictures that I've done in them, I did do last year. This one I did with watercolor, and I think it turned out really cute. I think the eyes are a little weird, but overall, I think it's cute. I love the bright, happy colors, and I really like how the hair turned out, which I think I did the hair with polychromos. That's what it feels like. I don't think I've done any more in here. Nope. Okay, this is another one in the set. And I did this one also with the travel size watercolor pan. And I think I did this on the same day as that other one. So a lot of the same colors. And I think this one turned out really bright and happy too. I tried adding clouds in the sky. I don't know, they kind of look a little out of place, but I love this. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but pretty much all of my cats that I do are orange. I don't know why, but I've just kind of stuck with it. Next up is this picture. I did this, I think this is one that I did in December actually, which I didn't do a completed pictures in December video for 2021 because I only did a handful of pages. So I figured I would just stick them in this video. So this was also with watercolor. I tried to use some like nighttime, kind of like misty, mystical, twilight-y colors, and just to, add kind of more watercolory effects and be a little bit more loose with it. I feel like I could have done better on the background, but there's nothing I can do about it now. I think it turned out really nice anyways. Okay. Next up is Forest Girl. This is the 2nd edition, which is a premium edition. The paper in here is so nice. And I did this page when I first was using my Albrecht watercolor pencils and trying to get to know how they worked, and I love this page so much. It just feels so cozy, and she's watching the ocean, so she's like in this beach house, and I think the colors are very light and happy and just feels fresh. This is the first picture that I colored in this book, and I used regular watercolor paints just because I wanted to test to see how far I could push the paper. I kind of struggled with the background, making it smooth, so I tried to like shade it, and it kind of was a little crazy, and the paper was starting to pill. So I just left it as it was, and I love how this couch turned out. It's very painterly, this page is, which I love how painterly it is. This one I did in 2020, and I love this picture too. I just think the greenhouse is so cute, and they're painting, and this one I used Albrecht watercolor pencils, I believe, for everything. And yeah, I just think it turned out really cute. And I usually don't do the color schemes that she uses. I like to do my own thing. But it is nice for kind of color decision, and seeing her vision does help. Let's see, I think there's one more in here. Yes, I did this one last year as well. Also with the travel size watercolor set. And this one is also more painterly, and I love the bright pink wall. I think it's so fun. And her outfit, if I could have her outfit in real life, I would be so happy. Yeah, so that's everything that I colored in this edition of Forest Girl. Okay, Colin Thompson. Oh, okay, his coloring book is amazing, and Coloring Heaven also has a Colin Thompson. I don't know if it's sold out yet. I've started a couple pages in here. Let's see if I can even find them. So I started this one, which is this oriental painting, and I went in and I traced over all of the cracks with a darker pencil. Yeah, they're just so detailed. So oh, here it is. This is when I first got this book, started working on it. I think I might try to do one of these little sections a month, just so I can have one completed double page spread in this book and just have a completed page, period. But yeah, I haven't done very much in his book, but I love looking at the pictures anyways. Next up is A Million Christmas Cats by John Bigwood. And this one has a lot of partially finished ones. I did this one in 2020 with acrylic paint and marker and a little bit of pencil. Just super fast and simple and cute. And then this is a whip. I started a couple years ago, and I really just need to color the cats. It's not that hard. This is the first page that I colored in this. I kept it really simple. Yeah. I don't think I've completed a single page except for that first one. This is one that I started this last December, so in 2021. I was using just regular Crayola markers, and I'll go back over with some pencils to shade. I just really need to do this fireplace and do some shading. So that's when I started. Never finished. Next up is Doodlers Anonymous. I don't think I worked in this one last year at all, so these are all from previous years. These remind me of those twin ladies on A Series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix. I don't know why, but does anyone else think that? This is just budget pencils, I think. This is forever whip. I don't know. This is when I had budget pencils, and they really hurt my hands because they were a hexagonal and they were harder lead. This, I had fun working on this little monster, the sea monster. This reminds me of like that carpet that you find in buses and stuff, or those cups from like the 90s. This is the very first picture that I colored in this book. And I used acrylic, fine liners, and just a budget pencil for the bear. And I had a lot of fun working on it. Okay, let's see. This is a whip. Some of these pictures are a lot more out there than I find myself being drawn to color. I think this one is really cool. This is one I just did with markers, nothing too crazy. Took me like 30 minutes. This one I did also early on, and I was so proud of it because I did like a salt and pepper kind of a beard where he was going from his natural red hair fish color to the gray. And yeah, I spent a lot of time and thought on this one. Let's see. This one, I don't think I'll ever finish this one. I don't know. I think maybe the mushrooms, they're a little silly. They're cute. This is one, I called it done because, I mean, it took me like 2 minutes to do. But I wanted to do kind of the contrast between this happy, bright, smiley umbrella and the frowny umbrella. And then everyone else is just kind of gray. And then I did this, and I did the background, and then realized it was a little more morbid than I thought. I thought it was like a Dia de los Muertos kind of a page where it's like skulls and bones, which it is, but it's, I didn't realize that there were eyeballs and blood and feet, so I'm calling it done. So that's everything in Doodlers Anonymous. Okay, now on to my Coloring Heaven books. I actually colored a lot more in these books than I thought. For some reason I thought I've only done like 3 pages or something like that. So this is the Bohemian Beauties special by Durian Addict, aka T. Fallon, and she does have an Amazon version of the coloring books that are featured, of the coloring pages that are featured in this book if you're interested. Because I don't know if this one is still available because it's from a couple years ago. This is one that I did when I first got my Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils. So I did her hair and the mandala in the background, and then the skin I did with polychromos. And I feel like I'm a lot better at skin, but I still struggle. This is one of my earlier attempts at skin. I'm missing something, I think. But I have gotten better. So I did that one. I did one in Chibi. This is from their Coloring Heaven collection, so it's separate from the subscription. These are designs by Josh Lee. I did this page. I finished it last year. I think I started it in 2020, and I used Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils, and I think this little cyclops is pretty cute. And I love how the paper feels when you use the watercolor pencils because it's crinkly and soft, but it's not like super crinkly. So there's that one. Another Coloring Heaven collection. This is Inktober 2020 Coloring Challenge, which has some really cool pictures in it. And I did do a couple last year. I did this one last year, and I love parts of it, and I wish I could redo other parts of it. So I love her wooden skin. because she's drawn to be like a mannequin. So I decided to make her look like a wooden puppet. And then I feel like the colors are a little out there, but I think it's still a really cute picture. I did do another picture in here for a Coloring Heaven challenge on the Facebook group. It was this one. You had to use only one pencil or pen. So I used one color pencil on this one to just shade parts of the beetle because the illustration is so intricate that I don't think I would ever have colored each of these little elements individually, and I think that just shading it really highlights that nice line work. So those are the two that I did in here, and those were both last year, but I feel like I did one more, but let me just check really fast. Nope. Oh, okay. I've done a couple in Halloween special. This is issue 54. I did this page. This is by Lemon Shortbread, and I did these dark purple roses because it felt more Halloween-y, and kept with like the green purple, and then I made these coppery lilies, and then the brambles are silver, and that's Fine Tech watercolor paints. And then the other page I did in here was this one. When I got this book in the mail, immediately I was like, I gotta color this page, because we were watching Harry Potter at the time, and it reminded me a lot of that. So this is done with Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils. Is it? Or is it Inktense? I think it's watercolor pencils. And then I did add some, it's kind of like a Posca pen, but it was a lot finer of a tip. And then some pencil shading. I think it turned out really cute. Alright, we're almost done. Wait a minute, I think. Oh wait, there's one more. Okay. I started a picture in here last year. This is Unicorn Special, featuring multiple artists. So I started this unicorn. This is called Water Karen. I started this, I think, at the beginning of December or maybe the end of November, and I'm using polychromos, I believe, and I think it looks pretty cool so far. But I have to tell you a funny story. So I was looking at this page, right, like this writing right here, and it looks like it says HE double hockey sticks. It's like, that's really weird because it says right here it's a water Karen, but it's HRH. So it's her initials right there. So I thought that was just kind of funny. I was just so puzzled by that, but this is when I started last year, and I hope I will finish it this year. There's not too much left to do on it. And then one page in here I did in 2020 during Christmas time. It's this, I tried to do a page or a little square every single day, but to be honest, I think I got like this far and then totally forgot about it until the end of the month, and then I just did them all at once. But it was super fun. I used the travel size watercolors that I have, and then on the numbers I did glitter gel pen, and this is super fun, and it feels so soft and cool. So that is everything that I've colored of all time, all the whips, all the completed pages, and I hope you enjoyed. And a couple of the reasons that I do this is to share progress, and also just because there are some months that I forget to show a picture, and then it's like 2 or 3 months later and I realize I forgot to show that picture. So this includes all of the forgotten pictures, all of the ones from forever ago and to present. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that you were motivated to color in some books or pull out a coloring book you haven't worked on in a while. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. And I hope to see you next time. Happy coloring!